Welcome to your weekly installment of the Mother-Licking Motherfunkler. Oh my.
Say, goddamn.
You guys are back, man. You guys are almost full rage.
I love it. It's great. It's alcohol is so good. It just makes every day better.
PR did a pre-Jaeger shot. Is it growing on you?
I did. Yeah, I could actually start this as a morning ritual.
Yeah.
Because it's a breakfast shot.
I'd say that it's better than the apple cider vinegar that you're drinking.
Yeah,
every morning.
Breakfast shot, you say. Have you guys done Grand Slams?
What's a Grand Slam?
Grand Slam shot? It tastes, so it's 2 shots, a Grand Slam, and it's the first one's like a maple syrup flavored whiskey, followed by like an orange juice with vodka screwdriver. Yeah, they call it a
breakfast. Breakfast shot.
We call it Grand Slam.
All right. Grand Slam's from like an
Denny's.
old, yeah.
Moons over my hammy,
yeah,
as it were. So I mean, when you say morning shot, that's what I think of. But
my morning shots are normally a double espresso. I think Trevor is doing
I picture you with the pinky up.
Yeah,
you're a pinky up,
with a
aren't
pinky
you?
up.
Of course you are.
Yeah. And Trevor is doing a morning shot with a apple cider vinegar.
My morning shot is pretty crazy. So it's a pint glass of water with a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. I shoot a cup of bone broth, and then a double espresso. So
early in my career, I'll say, I liked to party even more than I do now. Like, actually, that's a misnomer. I like to party more now than I did, but physically I can't do it anymore. Back then I could. And what I used to do was rage all night and be fucking hammered. And when I had to go to work, I had a ritual of I would do I'd fill up the sink with water. I'd dump the ice maker cubes, like everything from the freezer, into the water, so that it'd get freezing cold. Then I'd line up a 4-hour energy, a shot of Jaeger, and a full Red Bull. And before going to court, I would put my face in as long as I possibly could the cold water, drink the 4-hour energy, take the Jaeger bomb, and chug the Red Bull. And it would buy me, honestly, about 3 hours of not being hungover to go handle business before I inevitably crash.
After the 3 hours, like you needed to be out of court,
and actually,
or it would hit you, like you would turn into.
No, I would be like, all right, I got 3 hours to really get shit done, and then I need to like not be actually doing real work.
Got it.
And my brother witnessed this, so he could testify to it if necessary.
Yeah.
So
no, I believe you.
I mean, those were fucking good days. Those days actually remind me and bring me to. Today I got a call from somebody in my past that needed insurance. A girl that I know, she needed insurance. I referred her over to PR. I think PR, you're going to take care of her. Yeah,
absolutely, we'll take care of her.
Yeah, like take care of her.
No, I mean we pride ourselves in being absolutely quintessentially professional,
thorough.
Absolutely, and no, we as with any client, she's fantastic, by the way.
Oh yeah, she's a great girl.
She's fantastic. Girl. She's serious. She's got a home. She's got a car. She's young. She's ambitious, and we'll be a very good provider of services.
I've known her for a very long time. We actually went to high school together. I've known her for a very long time.
Fantastic.
She's used to be a trivia regular, actually, when I had my old show at the Wildside Barbecue in College Park, which is now Armando's. She's great, but really what it got me thinking about talking to her was like the frame of mind I was in back then, and like talking to, because she was a former romantic partner long ago, and how kind of things have changed now when you look at it, like kind of changed the way that relationships operate. I think have kind of come down to a change, and it's a weird world. And I think social media has a lot to do with it, if you ask me. And specifically what I'm talking about is just the nature and the, I guess, logistics of modern relationships between modern women and modern men.
Tell me more.
Well, I mean, what do you guys think about that? I think that it's changed. I think that
Absolutely.
I think that growing up, it was just we were told, kids of the 80s. I was told, like, you want to get married, you want to have kids, you want to settle down, you want to do this. For men, I think it was very low maintenance. It was, you don't have to really worry about how you look so much back then. You had to be an achiever. You had to earn. And if you did that, you'd find somebody and you'd marry him, and that would be the end of it. I think things have changed now. I think that it's not just, no longer do you have to find relationships out of convenience, especially from the female perspective.
I think that the 80s was the transition decade of, so 80s, you have new wave, you have guys doing prettier things with outfits and hairdos, and that was the beginning of the like pussification of, especially like in adolescent years, to get into the 90s of just fucking weak sticks. I can
totally fucking argue against that in
Let's go.
So many ways. So first I'll start with the fact that what you through your spectacles view the pussification of a man, it was way fucking worse a long time ago. Victorian era, shit like that, they were wearing fucking wigs and tights. Like, it was very pussified. Like, I challenge you to a duel, and you'd smack each other's faces with gloves.
Yeah, but
like,
the duel was then like a fucking sword or a gun.
The stakes of everything back then were higher. And I think because there wasn't such a premium on life and death, because death was way more a part of life. Like 6 out of 10 kids died in fucking childbirth. Like, nobody lived past the age of 47. There wasn't so much a premium. Now we like think of how long we're going to live as a real thing because we have consistency. We expect to live. We have life expectancy.
I don't disagree about your identification of the Victorian era. Mm-hmm. I think everything comes in seasons. So
agreed.
So we came out of that, and then but
that's
to come
my point.
Into the 80s in American culture, the 80s was a fucking weird ass decade.
Well, that'll bring me to so I think you just said kind of what my point was going to be. The 80s were not some beginning of some pussification of the masculine ideal that we're still going through. It was more so to me a season that I agree with. But the 90s was very masculine, and the early 2000s were fucking crazy masculine.
Yeah, 90s, man. Like, all the grunge dudes were just a bunch of fucking weenies bitching about shit, man.
I'm not talking about grunge. I'm talking about culturally, it faded from the mid-90s to the early 2000s, where if we look at it on a scale, fucking Chandler from Friends was viewed and stated on the show multiple times to be Metro, which we know as common vernacular of the time, somebody who was, iffy.
In touch with his feminine side.
Yes. And looking back at Chandler now, he is a fucking super masculine dude compared to dudes that are hanging and banging around today. So I think it goes through seasons. The 80s, yes, was very androgynous, with people who like David Bowie and fucking Prince.
So that's the argument, is that I think that because Prince went that direction, he was more masculine. But that's for me in the 80s. That's the exception to the rule, that there was a bunch of weak sticks.
Dude, that's something that I strive personally to dig into your psyche about, Trevor.
What?
Like, you can say stuff like that. That's to me so fucking enlightened. Like, I think that Prince was so masculine because he wasn't over the top hyper masculine. Yeah. Like, I think he was fucking what a man should be, because it is who he is, and it just fucking breathes out of it.
I couldn't agree more.
So we say that, but then at the same time, you're saying that you thought that people like the androgyny of the 80s were bringing the
exception to the rule, and I think that a lot of wannabe followers fall by the wayside and become fucking giant fucking pussies.
I mean, people like Prince are going to attract followers. I'm one of them that I look at him and I think to myself, I would love to have that kind of fucking charisma. That shit is fucking intoxicating.
I thought you were going to go some other way with that.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. I mean, that's off mic conversation that we can have if you want to have it. But I mean, putting that into the context of today, I find it very interesting, I guess I would say, the dynamics of modern relationships, at least what I feel is going on out there.
Well, so besides the historical buildup to where we're at now, I think the issue currently is that there has been a pendulum swing, and now women are more in charge than men, or I mean, is that true to say?
I mean, it's your truth is your truth, bro. To talk in my total hipster voice.
I think you can go back to, or not go back to, you can look up current data on divorce rate and chicks going to college and being self-sufficient, and that has created this pendulum swing.
I mean, that's my argument to it. The what's going on is that for the first time, it really started, mid 20-teens, maybe a little bit earlier. But really what you're getting is such a downturn of people being so attached to the religious ideal that once you're married, you're fucking married forever. That has faded away. And what has increased is the female ideal that they don't have to fucking have some dude to protect them from the dangers of society, that they can create their own economic worth and value, that they can live their own life. So then they are constantly, as I think everybody should, constantly taking stock in their partner and deciding whether or not this is somebody I want to be with. And everybody changes. I'm a completely different fucking human being. The girl started talking about this, I remember the man I was back then, the boy I was back then, and the boy that I am now. And they're completely different fucking human beings. Like, I've grown, and looking around, if I had a partner that wasn't still on board with who I am, it's time for a serious conversation. Women are finally having the ability to be like, this fucking guy I married when I was 22 and now I'm 42, I have nothing in common with him. But for the first time in human history, at 42, a woman can still go out there and fucking do whatever she wants.
Well, they're not playing the victim role anymore.
The victim role?
The victim role.
Is that a fact?
Yeah.
Is that what we're putting on the microphone?
Absolutely.
So my theory is that I want women to be as liberated and as strong as they can be.
As long as they are there to take care of you.
Make charcuterie.
Make your dinners. Wash your clothes.
I think we must play equal roles. So my hypothesis or my theory is that women must be equal partners to us in any relationship. That would be my starting point. Now,
so let me stop. I'm going to let you continue because I want you to continue. But here's what I want to say. Don't you think that a better way to have framed that would not have been, I think women should be equal. It should be everybody in a partnership, man, woman, masculine, feminine. Everybody should be equal partners to their partner.
Yeah, I mean, you can phrase it the way you want. There's an assumption that the minute we start talking about men and women, that somebody would be arguing that men should be more powerful in a relationship, or that women should be. I'm arguing, and that's my theory, and the women that I find most attractive, always women that are confident, women that are equally at the level that I'm at, or better. And I'm always happy to be in those kind of relationships. Now, I think what has happened over the last, let's say, in the mid-90s into the 2000s, we've had the rise of a significant middle class. And what has happened is that families started to raise their boys and girls in a similar way. So mom and dad would drive their boys and girls to school. When I was growing up, my dad didn't care how the hell I went to school. He didn't even know, probably, where my school was, right? I walked to school and I walked back. How I got to school and how I got back. So boys and girls develop differently, right? Boys develop on a playground. There's a bit of fist fighting. There's a bit of, there's contact sport. We put boys into hierarchies and we work out who's the jock on the field, who's the bully on the field, and we respect men and boys in a different way. Girls assimilate differently. And that was great in the 70s and 80s and maybe in the early 90s. But what happened once there was a significant kind of assimilation of wealth is that parents were able to take care of their kids in a different way. I'm not saying it was right or wrong, but let me finish my story. What happened was that we started to drive our boys and girls to school, and we started to drive them back. And we wanted to know, as this more liberated family or more middle class family, we needed to know where our kids were at every point of the day.
So there wasn't danger.
It wasn't what they perceived as danger. So here's what happened, right? Is that when I was growing up, my parents had no clue where I was in the day until a certain point in time when I needed to appear for dinner.
Street lights were for me. When the street lights came on.
Yeah. So where I was the rest of the time was just like up to me. And what happened at a point in time is that parents started to want to know where you were as a child. And they started to have almost a rule for boys and girls, which were exactly the same. So, and where were you supposed to be? At home. That was a safety net for parents. So you started to have boys and girls being parented in exactly the same way. Knowing that men, if we go back to the caveman days, we develop differently. So here you had a group of boys and girls.
Oh my God, this is getting fucking...
Here we had a group of boys and girls that grew up in a similar way. Now,
you're cool with this?
Miraculously, and then there was the social media in 2008. You had all the cell phones and parents feeling that their kids were safer in their rooms with the internet on their cell phones than being out on the playground, developing as a boy.
That's the quick rise of the assimilation of information, the ability for people to see. So
I'm saying, but let me finish my story. I'm just wanting to go to the development side, right? So what you had is that girls and boys were not developing the way they naturally should.
I'm trying to help you. Is what I'm trying to do by interrupting. I'll let you keep going, but I don't think that the argument that fucking parents should be handling boys versus girls completely different is a cogent argument.
Yeah. So, but I'd be arguing that they should because we develop differently. And then what happened as a result of that is that girls still see their ideal man in their view of their father figure. Now, I'm using not their dad, their father figure, right?
Yeah.
An assertive, confident provider in the home. And men, on the other hand, have lost that ability because we haven't been on the playground. We haven't had the fisticuffs. And a result of that is that as men, and we've also been almost, educated that we need to be promoting girls and women and giving them opportunities because we are the alpha in the room. The result of that after 20 or 30 years is that men are no longer performing as we should.
I don't know, but wait, I just want.
Dude,
there's no we shit because
this is a big pile
I
of
don't
fucking
wanna,
garbage.
I don't want to lump myself. I don't want to be lumped into
you're
this.
not lumped in. Nobody's lumped in.
We
This is a
not-
fucking pile of shit.
Yeah.
This is what you're saying is fucking dumb.
Right.
Like it's
but,
not.
But the reality is that men right now, in their 20s and 30s, right, are struggling to
Ed's in his 30s.
find a relationship.
Ed's in his 30s.
Yes.
And he's struggling to find a relationship.
But he's struggling to find a relationship, not having to do with the fact that he's a fucking feminine fucking nobody. He's not effeminate. He's struggling to find a relationship for the reason that I was saying is the problem.
I'm not saying
what you're saying.
I'm not saying that the men are feminine. Don't
right.
confuse that.
What you're saying is that men have not had this fucking strong, hardcore fucking ability to go into the fucking recess playground and fight their way out. And because of that, they're not able to socially motivate themselves.
Absolutely.
That's
correct.
ridiculous. Ed is an example that I would use. He's looking around because he's trying to find somebody he fucking likes. We are.
He's too nice. Give us a break. You and
Christ,
I have said this.
Jesus Christ.
You and I have said this.
No, I have never said that. I don't think he's too nice.
Nice.
No, I think
And
he's looking for somebody who he actually wants.
Nice. Right?
No, they
That's
don't.
what they don't want.
Christ.
Let's be honest. They see themselves, yes, we all want to be
They
equal.
want somebody who's. If you're talking about trying to fuck some girl you meet at a bar, I can agree that being the cock of the walk is something that may fucking be cool. Okay. But if you're looking for an actual partner, what I hope is that both men and women are looking for somebody who's congruent. And what we are experiencing is a weird period of time in all of human existence where people like Ed can look around and constantly find people to see if they match what he actually wants, as opposed to going, oh, well, I'm in college, I'm in fucking Alpha Beta fraternity, she's a Chi O, and I guess we're going to get married, and then for the rest of your life, you're fucking miserable because you're locked in with some stupid fucking douchebag or slut that you don't even want to be with. Like, what I think I don't think it's a problem. I think monogamy is fucking whatever. I don't think it's something that us as a culture should be striving for. What we should be striving for is ultimate happiness. If monogamy with one person brings you happiness, then you're one of the luckiest people on earth. If you can find some person who fulfills you in that way, you're fucking lucky. For everybody else who's not as lucky, it's not going to be about finding one human being that fucking fulfills you. It's going to be about the seasons that you go through in your life and the people that you choose and the people that are around you that bring you happiness.
I think that when it comes down to a really good, strong relationship, men and women have a certain role to play in a home environment, because that's really what we're talking about. We're not talking about, picking up somebody at a bar. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about men and women. There's a struggle between men and women, and the statistics are that women are divorcing men at an increasingly higher
That's because
rate.
Men still hold on to values that existed 30, 40 years ago that are not relevant to current existence.
And what are those values?
The values are what you're saying. This hyper masculine. I'm going to come home and I expect you to have a fucking martini ready for me because I call the shots and I'm the man.
I'd argue that men are not playing that role, because if they were...
I'm saying that's not a good role to play. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah. I'm saying that if men continue to play that role, right, go out and earn your pound of flesh. A lot of men are choosing not to do that.
My argument is that there is no problem. I don't see a problem with a fucking 75% divorce
So
rate.
back in the day, my hypothesis is that men are playing their role that they used to play back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, right? And yes, we want women to play an equal role. That's what I want. I'm embracing that. But men have decided that as a result of them, they've compromised themselves. They've given up their power. And I'm saying, hang on, you need to take care of yourself, buddy. You need to go to work.
What do you mean?
You need to be well educated.
I want to define. I want you to define. I'm not interrupting you to go on a tangent. I'm interrupting you to ask you to define. What do you mean by give up their power?
So what we all find attractive as men and women,
okay,
is we find...
Tell me what a woman finds attractive.
People that
I'm interested. I want you to tell me right now what it is that you're talking about that a woman finds power in a man.
Everyone loves power. I, as a man, and I'm attracted to a man that's in power.
Whoa.
Women are attracted.
Wow.
I don't mean in a sexual way. I mean, when I'm attracted, I may respect the person.
Okay.
In power. I may find a woman...
Are you attracted to me?
Very attractive. No.
Are you attracted to me?
No.
So you don't think I'm a powerful man?
No, I don't.
What about Trevor?
But
Do you think Trevor's a powerful man?
No.
You think neither one of us are powerful people?
No. But
Okay.
what I am saying,
enough.
though,
You
is
heard
that
it.
there are people... What I'm
I
saying
think
is
you
that...
think we're powerful, and I just tricked you into
Who's
you'd have
a
to admit.
powerful man that you're attracted
No,
to?
it's not.
Well, let me ask you this: out of the two of us, who is more powerful?
Yeah.
No, the idea is to say that the atypical woman.
I can't tell, but I think he just blushed.
I think he blushed. And you can tell he had the look on his face when you turned around wearing the Dr. Frankenfurter
So let me
outfit.
say that the idea that we are friends means that I respect you, and as a result of me respecting you, I mean that you play a role in my life, and as a result of that, you have a certain level. I have a certain level of appreciation for certain people. Now, that means in your area of expertise, yes, you do have a certain level of power.
So are you
right?
attracted to that?
I respect that.
Okay.
So
when
what
it
I'm
comes
saying
to
is that
me, so you said you're attracted to men that are powerful, but when it comes to me, it's not attractive to you. You're just you.
No. This is not about you, Nick. I know that every
It's
podcast.
not about me. It's about you.
Yeah, I
I'm
know that-
asking you about
yeah,
your feelings
no.
of attraction
So
towards
this is-
men with power.
So this is not about Nick. This is not a podcast about you.
God,
This is
you
a
sound like a
podcast-
woman fighting with me
this
right
is a
now.
po-
Is what
yeah,
you sound like.
This is a podcast about the typical man and the typical woman, and why there's a erosion of women not being able to find.
I mean, I disagree
an
that that's
appealing
what this
man.
podcast is about because I don't think there's an erosion. And I'm 1/3 of the fucking podcast. I don't think there's an erosion of anything having to do with that. I think it's a growth. I don't think it's an erosion. I think long-term relationships are not supposed to work. I think they should be the exception, not the rule. And in fact, I can tell you that I think they should be the exception, which gives value to the ones that actually work. And the ones that don't, those are people that are recognizing that the other person is not their counterpoint.
Yeah, and I would agree with you to the point that the man is not playing the role where he's able to argue, play his role, convince you, because that's a power struggle in any couple, right? The power struggle is what's your role and what's your
There
role.
shouldn't be a fucking power struggle is my point. It should be somebody who compliments you. And like, dude, there's a million things. Linda's fucking way smarter than I am in a million ways. And there's stuff that she takes care of that I think you would assert are classically masculine roles. I can give you one example. When I order furniture, it ain't me putting it together. Linda puts that shit together because she has a PhD in engineering. She fucking sits there and puts it together in 5 seconds. I do it. I'm throwing fucking tools across the goddamn room. That's a very masculine thing to do. Would you agree with me? Putting together furniture?
No.
No?
I don't agree it's a masculine role. I say that what happens in that role, in everything that you're doing, there's a mutual respect, right?
Okay.
And the minute that respect breaks down, okay, whatever that is, it may not be the fact that she's putting the...
So now you're arguing that there are no traditional masculine roles.
No.
It's only whatever somebody's good at.
I'm saying, no, it's not that. I'm saying that as a couple, as a man and a woman, in order for you to be able to exist together in a partnership for life, each of you needs to make a meaningful contribution, and you need to be equally respecting each other. Mm-hmm. And in order for you to equally respect each other, you need to contribute. And that I would define as power, right? You need to each one have a piece of leverage. If you don't have it, and if you're just the guy that's sitting at home watching TV and playing video games...
I mean, that shit is gross. I agree.
You would eventually... You would eventually become somebody who's disrespected, and then you get a divorce notice to say she's out.
So
or
again,
you're out.
now you're making my fucking point. So you're making the point that I made originally. There is no erosion. There is no women are to fucking blame for this erosion. If men are doing that, or if women are doing that, it's fucking natural for you to go, this relationship's not working for me. I'm not going to try and go to therapy with somebody who's acting like that. You fucking break it off and go find somebody better. Like, the moment of happiness is all that matters because it could be fucking gone.
Yeah, the challenge we're having right now, though, is the statistics shows that 65 to 70% of women are not happy with the bloke that they married to. That is a scary statistic.
It's not scary to me. It makes me happy. I like
Well,
it.
it's saying that us guys are not rising to the occasion.
No, it says that 60 to 75% of men that were married at that time aren't rising to the woman's expectations. And that's totally fine. A lot of those people, a lot of that percentage could be people playing fucking video games and being losers. A lot of that percentage could be people who changed jobs. And now it's not congruent with the lifestyle of the female, and they're making the decision. I'm encouraged by those numbers because that tells me that women are looking around and going, I don't want to be with this fucking scumbag. Like, I don't want to be with this loser. Yeah. And for the first time in history, they have the freedom to fucking get the fuck out and find somebody better.
Yeah, I mean...
I think it gives people like me and you, PR, an opportunity to be the bad motherfuckers that everybody else wants to be with.
It's, when we have a 50-50 demographic between men and women, and you have 70%...
It's 51-49.
Of the men...
51-49.
What?
Scientific.
Yeah. Okay.
Science.
51-49. Call me a liar for 1%.
No, 51% of every human being born is a female.
Right. But now you have a 65 to 70% difference in women making a conscious decision.
Not a 65, dude, math. It's not a 65 to 70% difference. If it's 65, that means 35% are men. That means it's only a 30% difference.
Yes. That's the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that 70% of marriages are ending because a women are making a decision. That is an insane number if we demographically are a 50-50 group. So what I'm saying is that men are losing as a result of that. We are losing our ability.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't Oh, shit. That does surprise me.
It's our demographic, listener demographic.
Nice. Our listener demographic would probably agree with me, is what I would say.
Well, what's a listener demographic?
As apparently the fucking feminine voice of this podcast.
61% female.
61% female.
34 male.
Hey, they need to quit listening to this and get back in the kitchen, man.
But I mean,
God, Jesus Christ.
It's fantastic that we have so many women. This is not an argument against women. This is an argument for men.
To
raise their game.
If you're saying, yeah, please.
Men are fucking weak right now, and I'm not arguing.
Exactly.
I'm not arguing. The tangents confuse the fuck out of me. So men need to. Intuitive Muse sent me something the other day that speaks, totally fucking it up, butchering it, paraphrasing, but something to the effect of like, when you decide to enter into a marriage, a monogamous relationship, you're not making a pact with the other person. You're making a pact with yourself to turn into something great. It's an interesting. Do you want to? Is there any Intuitive Muse? Is there any way to expand on this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a husband mentioning that him being married to his wife is not him like committing to his wife, is him committing to himself and the man that he is inspired to be, like to become. Which
I think is what I'm trying to identify by saying the pussification of fucking dudes.
Well,
guys are not fucking stepping up to the plate these days.
What I can tell you is that that sounds very romantic. I disagree with that.
Well, I will say, I will say that the two guys talking were fucking granola hippie crunchy douchebags.
I mean, you shouldn't be to even go a step further, you shouldn't be as a man looking to marry somebody in the hopes that it changes you into somebody else. What you should be looking for is finding somebody who will walk the journey of this life with you. And as a woman coming from that perspective, you shouldn't want some dude who's sitting there like, I'm going to get married and it's going to make me a better person. And I'm going to focus every day on being a better man.
At least my reception or interpretation of it.
You should want the fucking good man already. Before you're getting married, you don't have the expectation he'll become a good man.
The reception, the takeaway I got from it wasn't a total change. It was to be a better version of yourself each day, to stay true, but not to go and fucking eat Cheetos and slam a 12-pack of beer and play fucking video games to do something.
In no way am I'm the opposite of defending that. That's gross. That's fucking terrible. That's lack of motivation. That's lack of everything that I believe in life. Every day you should become a better fucking person than you were the day before.
Of course.
If you can. There will always be mistakes. There will always be pitfalls, but you should always have the goal of being better.
I think a lot of people, and specifically dudes, are not doing this.
Our culture through the years has created a way where men could fucking get married and be that. There are numerous shows that make jokes like Family Guy, off the top of my head, which I fucking love that show, is built on the premise of a satire of a fat fucking nobody who just sits there knowing that his wife ain't fucking going anywhere.
Yeah,
and
there
he's
was
fucking there.
The challenge that we have is that there was a time and place for a guy to be respectful of his wife. And what has happened as a result of that is that we've completely gone to the other extreme, like we do on everything.
What's the other extreme?
The other extreme is now we are sitting at home playing video games. We never did that. We always went and hunted and we killed and we brought back. That's back in the primitive days, right? And now we've been saying, hang on, listen, we're fighting this good fight. And as a result of the fighting the good fight, we do not express ourselves when we are pissed off, right? We have to be quiet, right? Now, if you want to be...
Dude, that's the opposite of your argument.
No.
That's the fucking opposite of your argument.
No.
Yes. So your argument is that everybody's getting more pussified and more fucking hippie.
Exactly.
And more fucking... But then you're also saying that now we're conditioned to be quiet. In the 80s and 90s, we were conditioned to not fucking say what was wrong with us, to keep it bottled up. Now we're more than ever conditioned to be like, oh, it's all about our feelings. Let's talk about our feelings.
So I have two parts on this. The first is that we're talking about fucking millions of years of evolution, and to think that there's going to be some fucking paradigm shift in a decade is garbage.
Well, I think you're fucking dead on. I don't think there's any fucking change. I don't think there's a change in male behavior at all.
There's been a massive
I don't think there's more men sitting on the couch doing nothing than there was in the 80s. What I think there is there's fucking women who don't have to fucking deal with the men sitting on the couch doing nothing. I think the number of men that sit around and are fucking effeminate, fucking limp dick nobodies is the same percentage-wise as it was before. But now women don't have to go, oh, well, I'm fucking married, and it's a nightmare to get a divorce, and I don't know what's out there. I don't have a fucking education. I think now they can go, fuck you, I'm out of here. Even if whatever I'm doing, I can go online and find a dude, and fucking I'll be just fine. That's what I think's changed. I think the number of men that are fucking nobodies is static.
Yeah, I think we'd like to think that it hasn't been
and it's high.
Exponential.
It's high.
It's been exponential, and it's happened. I would argue that it's happened probably in the 90s in an exponential way, and I think social media and
what is it that you're defining?
The fact that that we've been as young kids during the 80s and 90s, we've grown up in a certain way to respect brother and sister. When in the 60s and 70s, there was a very definitive way in which boys and girls were raised. Then you had in the 80s and 90s a different way. We as parents in the 90s, and I'm just using us as an example here, started to raise our kids in a way where we didn't differentiate and understand or appreciate that boys and girls learned differently.
I don't think you should be differentiating because of their sex. You should be differentiating as a parent based on the personality of your child.
Boys and girls learn differently. We assimilate information.
That is a very fucking overbroad statement that I do not think is acceptable.
And clearly you don't. But I'm saying that that's my theory, is that boys and girls learn differently. And as a result of that, we parented them exactly the same way. And social media has had a huge impact on the way boys and girls have developed. But the result of it is that girls, I believe, as a result of that entire kind of perfect storm, right, over the last 20 years, have absolutely taken the baton and have run with it. And I'm so happy for that. I am not arguing against women
So
assuming
I have to jump in with regard to your fucking idea that we're dropping the ball on raising men to be men and women to be women and the way that we raise them. You're not looking at the downside that came along with that. The downside that came along with that is what you're saying is a fucking problem. When you raise men to be fucking supermen and women to play with Barbies, you get a fucking pretty bad world. Like, you get men that think that it's okay. I'm a man. I get to do whatever the fuck I want because I'm the one who kills and I'm the one who brings home the food. And you get women who think, wow, I'm supposed to cook and this is what I have to do.
I mean, that is the biggest load of bullshit that you've ever mentioned, in the podcast. I have not mentioned that a girl should be playing with Barbie. I am saying that a girl, the perfect storm.
Then define how you meant
that
they should be raised differently.
I'm saying that a girl should go out and be the best woman she can be. I am not arguing for her to play with dolls. I'm not arguing for her to be a great cook. I'm not arguing for any of that. I'm saying be
then
the
what's
best
the
you
difference?
can.
Then tell me the difference.
I'm saying that we as somebody that's promoting masculinity is saying the man has given up his position. He has not gone out.
Stop saying fucking generic, giving up his position. Women should. Tell me specifics. What do you mean by it? Tell me how a woman should be raised and a man should be raised, in your opinion.
So a man should feel equally that he needs to earn his pound of flesh. Men...
He shouldn't feel. He should fucking
He should do it. And he's not. The statistics
because they're feeling what they need to do instead of just fucking nutting up and
going
and fucking doing it.
Go and assert yourself.
Now define for me how a woman should be raised.
I am saying that she must be the best she can.
How so is that different than a man?
No, what has happened over the last 20 years is that we have all of us included sitting around this table, have said we want women to be absolutely powerful. With us chanting the fact that we want women to be absolutely powerful, we have agreed.
So you're explaining
philosophically.
Here's the thing.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
I do, and you're explaining my beliefs. What I want you to do is explain yours. Tell me what you mean by how a woman should be raised different than a man. Give me specific examples.
So I'm saying that men and women are raised differently, right? That's the first thing. Women assimilate. Girls they are social animals, and they want to associate with hundreds of girls. In order for and they do that on the playground the same way that boys do, but they assimilate differently. They want to have 20 friends, 30 friends, 100 friends. Boys, when we go on a playground, we associate with, okay, who's the bully in the group? Who's the jock in the group? Who's the the smart guy in the group?
You ever seen you ever seen Mean Girls?
So we put.
Have you ever seen Lord of the Flies?
We do guys. We do guys in our hierarchy, right? So that's the first thing in terms of how we associate. But what I'm saying is that I want a woman. My wife is.
Dude, you're still fucking tap dancing around it, man. You have expressed numerous times against my arguments that women should be raised, that there are distinct methods with which women should be raised different than men. I want you to give me one fucking example.
I'm saying that a boy should be out in the afternoon walking to his friends and being out in what we consider as parents today in danger.
And a woman should not.
A woman never normally did that.
I'm asking you.
She would go and hang out with her friends. There's different ways in which. But all I'm saying is that at the end of it, what's happening is that you get more graduates.
Dude, it's all right. You don't have to give me specific examples.
Look, whatever answer I'm going to give you, it's going to be wrong. Because in your mind,
what do you mean
blocked
wrong?
it out.
You're comfortable in your confident in your position. Then why do you care if it's wrong in my opinion?
Yeah, I don't care if it's wrong in your opinion.
Then say it.
I don't care if it's wrong in your opinion.
Then say your opinion.
I've given you my opinion. I have given
you failed to give me one specific example as to how women should be raised differently than men.
This is a crazy argument where you're asking me for an opinion. I'm giving you my opinion.
Dude, I can't even make
Well,
an opinion on yours.
It doesn't matter.
You won't give it to
Can
me.
we move on?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to.
How about this? So it's of my mind that, again, back to the millions of years of evolution, that because women have babies, they would stick around the village and take care of their pregnant bellies and gather.
I mean, there's several cultures where that's not how it worked.
Right, but not as many as this way.
I agree.
So, and then men would go out and hunt, which is why women talk more than men, because out hunting, you have to keep your fucking mouth closed. And women would sit around their village and gossip all day.
Well, they
because
gather.
they can.
They gather,
And then
and that's how they learn.
And then guys would tell big bullshit fish stories by the campfire at night, which creates storytelling. There's a word I'm searching for that's not coming to mind. You look like you're cringing a little bit.
We have one physiological difference.
A penis and a vagina.
Penis and vagina. Well, really, the physiological difference is that once a child has been created, the woman has to walk around with that fucking thing for 9 months and then give birth to it and then feed it from their own body.
Right.
That's the only physiological difference. In every cultural aspect that both of you guys have been spouting about how different we should be raising men and how men should be comes from that one tiny fucking difference. That's it. Other than the fact that they have to carry their fucking a stupid kid for 9 months and then feed it, there is no fucking difference.
In your mind, men and women develop exactly the same.
Correct, but I mean, do you want to watch WNBA or do you want to watch NBA?
I mean, no, I agree with that.
I mean, like there is
that's a
So my
immovable
what
object.
I've argued,
But I do want to
the
answer
entire
you,
time is that men
PR.
and women develop differently. Physiologically, men and women develop differently. We would like them to contribute equally to society, right? And right now they do. And that's fantastic. But what I'm saying is that as parents, we will parent them differently. And if we do not respect the fact that we parent them differently, then we are going to fail as parents.
And I guess that's where I'm at to to answer your question. Culturally, we've progressed beyond the point where we need women to just be birthers and feeders and fucking to gossip around the fire.
Well, but so I don't disagree, but it's not going to happen in this truncated timetable. This million-year evolution.
I disagree with that
idea. It's
I mean, we went from
there's
fucking
not
in 1985 not being able to communicate with anybody to now our fucking phones literally connect us to Helsinki if we wanted to talk to them. A truncated timeline is the name of the game for human civilization. Like, everything has fucking exponentially changed since the Industrial Revolution.
And I brought this up when we were at Vinya. They better get their fucking shit together, man.
No,
because
I think it's going to be terrible.
If you're if everybody's going for this equal opportunity shit, I don't want to get called by any of my girlfriends to lift fucking couches anymore. They better get their asses. Oh yeah,
exactly.
Like there are roles that we play, and I hope that they start practicing lifting couches. And in 500,000 years, everything's an equal playing field. But they're hindered, and that's okay. Guys are good in certain aspects.
I think there's a lot of relationships.
Chicks are good in certain.
I think
aspects.
there's a lot of relationships that exist out there where the woman is better at lifting the couch than the man.
That's feasible.
And what I'm saying is that although that may be the average, what I think a better golden rule is not I'm the couch lifter. We're both going to do whatever it takes to fucking survive, and lifting the couch may be my job today. Fucking lifting the couch may be her job tomorrow.
I don't really know where I'm going to end up going with this. I just want to throw out that
it out, baby.
Being raised, was born in Wichita, Kansas, heartland, and definitely a very unique cultural experience.
You're not in Kansas anymore.
Then was moved to California. Total, vague memories. I was very young.
What part of California?
Bay Area.
Okay, so fucking total culture shift.
Yeah. and got used to, as far as I recollect, California culture, and then back to Wichita. Came back. I had gotcha pink and green surfer shirts. Definitely people did not wear that shit in fucking Wichita. I had a Wayne Gretzky MacGyver mullet. First day of school, I got made fun of, cut off the mullet. My point is, I do think, although Florida is extremely different from California, that coast to coast, like on the outskirts of America, is different than wheat, corn raised kids. So my perspective going through this, man, and experiencing the shift between the two cultures is interesting. So I know that I can fucking do everything masculine. I also had a mom that taught me how to iron and cook, and I handle. I run the full gambit on this. I do think that men are slacking in these areas of not nitpicking what the jobs are, but just putting fucking effort out there.
I think humans are fucking what you're explaining to me is what I think every person should be. I think every person, a woman or a man, should be trained in both what we are. Men are from the 80s, the ability to go in there. You have to navigate social situations with fucking bullies, with allies. Women should be trained in that. Women should be trained in the fucking shit you're talking about.
Also,
men should be trained in both of those. And then you come together as a fucking couple, and a woman's like, I can fucking handle the fucking bullies, or I can handle this fucking hardcore scenario.
I think you're failing to realize, though, that genetically we're different, and we have certain skill sets.
My problem with that is that
to us.
I'm not that genetically different. I'm fucking super skinny and not that strong. Like, I am not going to physically fight off a fucking intruder in my house. Like, I'm just letting you know, Linda and I have equal opportunity.
and-
Wait, is Linda gonna fight off the intruder?
We're gonna do the same thing, which is run away. Like, that's like, so we've got the same there.
you're taking
so
this-
when you say that I'm supposed to be some sort of physical fucking force, I'm not.
You're taking this too literally, though.
That's fun to
What
take
do
it
you
literally.
mean literally?
What I'm
It's
saying
what
is
you're
that
saying. I'm not interpreting it in some
in
weird
every
way.
home, you don't have a guy that's going to be the one that's going to run to the danger. Both may run away from the danger. Doesn't mean you're not playing a man or a woman's role. Each of us are genetically different.
You're not gonna run towards the danger?
I'm going to run away. Absolutely. I'm going to see. That's what I'm
Then
going
what
to do.
is the fucking genetic role that I'm supposed to play in my house?
Running towards the danger
I'm supposed to what?
to protect your woman.
That's what you do. That's the role.
But you just said you're gonna run away.
Well,
I'm not angry. I'm
being-
disappointed.
I'm being facetious on that. There's a role that I've said this on many occasions. There's a role that men play back from the caveman days, right? And I know, we don't want to take this literally, but we provide, we protect, and we procreate. That is the role
Jesus
of men,
Christ, dude.
right? And if we don't do that, a woman will find it difficult to find us appealing and attractive.
Well, I
We're
can
not
immediately disagree with that because I have been very clear since I was in my 20s that procreate, the third of your 3 big P's for men, is not in my fucking cards. And I've been quite attractive to
I don't think procreation is a part of this. I think
At all.
I think orgasm is a part of this. So and I
Yes.
think that men figured out. I think there was a secret man meeting of all the cavemen, and they said we're gonna make vagina into a commodity, and they
Fair.
and that's where we're at now. Is that it's well, there. I think women are understanding that it's not shameful to have an organ, like for forever, especially
Yeah.
Midwest
I know
growing
what you're
up
saying.
Catholic
I
church.
know what you're saying.
That it was shameful to do all these things,
And that's
but-
ridiculous. That's terrible.
well, it's a
That's,
fucking now everything. It's a commodity, and now it's turning
I mean,
into.
the reason it's a commodity is, I think, the masculine drive for, I do think that
Agreed.
it is stronger.
Absolutely.
Which then gives the leverage to be able to, I do think that's,
Which maybe dovetails nicely
Unfortunate.
into monogamy. Like a man is supposed to spread his seed, and
I think, and you're getting to the heart as to why I think we're in a good place where women feel comfortable getting out and spreading their seed.
They don't have seed.
I mean, they have seed.
They
It
have
just doesn't go outside of
They
them.
have an egg.
I mean, ours isn't technically a seed. It's alive.
It's a pistol.
It's the same
It's
as
a pistol and a
it's the same
stamen.
as an egg.
It's a giver and a receiver.
By giving and receiving, all you mean is that the penis goes inside.
Correct.
That to me is not definable.
I think that at its core defines why women express their emotions and feel, and why men fucking scream and fight and shit. And I think that's fucking ingrained into us.
I think it's just culturally created by a patriarchal society that wanted men to keep the power. That's what I think.
Okay.
But that's just my opinion. How do you feel about that, PR?
What do you think?
He's
I'm
like,
not quite sure.
Hey.
I'm not quite sure where we've gone
I'm
with
gonna
it.
tuck
But
my sack back.
Well, I was trying to make some sort of nice segue into monogamy and switch it up from you guys arguing about how you fucking want to
are we
raise
close
kids.
to
I mean,
nuggets?
we're like done.
Yeah. Time for nuggets.
So no, we
mean,
can't
do we
argue
have
about
any
monogamy.
fucking-
Do we have any nuggets? We can talk about monogamy another time. That's a great fucking topic we could talk about for a long time.
Yeah.
What-
All right.
I mean, do we have
the
nuggets?
next
We just
installment.
recorded 2 days ago.
Yeah, well, let's mention that by the time this airs, you'll have plenty of time to mark your calendars for Bang & Olufsen.
There you go. Good
So we're going
job,
to go
baby.
hang out at Bang & Olufsen on March 2nd, which is also the Intuitive Muse's birthday. So it'll be a hell of a shindig.
Like
From the I put my ear to the ground and I hear mumblings of food and booze or something
Yeah?
being provided.
I think I offered. I'll provide the food.
Okay.
It'll be rad.
I'll
I mean,
provide
I
the
don't want to
wine.
step on Tony's toes, but
Well, I mean, we'll triangulate, and then
Fair.
I'm sure there will be some offering.
Are
that-
we gonna? Is there gonna be a party on the 2nd? It is a birthday.
Yeah, I went. Not trying to be a lazy man, but I did a surprise party for Amanda this last year, and really blew my load on
I
the on your
absolutely
load.
do
It
not.
was a surprise party. People flew into town for it. It was because you turned 40. I don't know, 41. I can just give you a foot massage, right?
I absolutely do not want to hear from a lazy man.
Hey,
Listen.
are you talking? Is
You
that
gotta raise your
directed at me?
game. Yeah, I mean, you gotta raise your game. You
See,
gotta whatever you did last year, you gotta do better.
I mean, I
this
got to
year.
tell you,
Are you the guy? Are you the guy that told me? Oh no, I know. When you start dating a chick, this is absolute hogwash. Do not believe in it.
Hogwash.
But just want to have fun with it. That start dating a chick, you don't go and immediately get her like a diamond bracelet or whatever.
That
you gotta
was
start,
not me.
You gotta start slow so
No,
that
that's
she doesn't
terrible.
expect bigger and better every year.
That's gross. That was not
I-
me.
no, I think
in
that's
any way,
gross,
shape,
too.
or form.
All right.
That's terrible.
For some reason, I thought it was you.
No, what I think you do is you get something that feels like, as giving gifts to your partner is something that feels right, is rad, and the value of it can go up and down, and your partner should appreciate the thought that went into
Right.
it. That's
Well,
what
so we have no plans other than to hang out at Bang & Olufsen. I'm sure something will come together. We actually have a lot of other things on the docket in the next couple months.
yeah,
So
big things.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that without any Trevor alcohol, that it could be one of those pretty.
It could be a limp dick experience.
Well, I got to tell you, Trevor's been fucking killing it on the microphone, so I'm good.
Really?
I think you're fucking rad, man.
Oh,
I dig your
shucks.
style.
I appreciate
think you're
it.
a very powerful masculine man, and therefore,
Are you
according
attracted to
PR,
me?
I'm attracted to you.
All right.
Too many
Are you attracted
Picas.
to Trevor now that he said that?
I'm not attracted to any of you guys.
So we have no power.
I'm attracted to a powerful woman.
Okay.
Oh,
Always.
which Yeggs is.
Yes.
Dare I say? I think you guys might be playing a little role reversal in your relationship.
You ever watched the Amazon position? You familiar?
What's the Amazon
No,
position?
Give us the Amazon.
You know what
position.
I'm talking about.
Is this,
Amazon position is where a woman gets up,
Oh,
like a man,
and like
and
she
she
fucks
yes,
the dude,
fucks the dude, basically,
but
not pegging.
using his dick.
I'm not talking about pegging.
Yeah.
She uses his dick and she fucks him, but like a man does.
Oh, man.
That's very PR to me.
Okay.
I just got
I was.
so many mental pictures, man.
Okay.
Oh,
Cheese and
wow.
crow.
Close us out, baby. Come on.
All right. So, want to give a big thanks to the Wizard of Ed, who's always here taking care of us, running the computer,
Love you,
setting up the mics. Intuitive Muse is here. She has yoga at Warrior One every Monday and Wednesday. Check out their schedule. Go visit her. It's really cool. Sound Bowl's on Wednesday. Whoop, whoop. And let's see. PR. Always a pleasure. Love you, man. PR has the Allstate agency in Winter Park, Hannibal Square, Winter Park, Florida. And my good bud, Nick Sadul, trivia host. Wait, I said that backwards. Lawyer by day, trivia host by night.
Yeah, trivia every Wednesday night at Fiddler's Green 7 to 9. Follow me at Orlando Trivia on Instagram.
I am downtown Trevor Brown, one of the OG Motherfunklers.
Word.
I have Atomic Barber Company, Hannibal Square, Winter Park, Florida, right next to Allstate. Best haircuts in town, probably the world.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And if you want to experience true masculinity, the place has been designed
That's
to
what I'm talking
ooze
about.
masculinity.
I mean, I got to tell you that your shop is what I think is acceptable, like true masculinity.
Yeah.
Like you go in there, you're not expected to, like, there's no fucking, like, pin the tail on the hooker on the wall or anything like that.
No, but I do
You're
have.
going for camaraderie. You're going for a great haircut.
Yeah.
You're going to enjoy the experience of like what it is to be a good modern man.
Rib each other, but be respectful. It's cool to take
Great
the
spot.
piss out of somebody.
Great spot.
Is that the proper?
Yeah,
term?
take the piss out, but it's also somebody that's successful because
But if you take the piss out, make sure to wipe your dick hole.
if
with
you
it.
Yes.
if you are just your average Joe sitting at home on a Doritos playing games,
Don't fucking come into my
you're not going to
masculine
his
barber
place.
shop.
You're
That's
lame.
what I'm talking about.
Those fucking
is
losers would
masculinity.
never go to his place.
No,
Like
they're
wouldn't go.
too busy
No,
smelling
they
their.
go to Great Cliffs.
Yes.
They're too busy smelling their belly
Yeah.
button lint.
Yeah.
Hey, I just to like it's not totally clean. There's a couple Playboys hidden in there that I'm waiting for somebody to find, but nobody's
I
noticed the
haven't found 'em.
Playboys.
I mean, I've seen there's a calendar in the bathroom.
Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, which is legit.
I took it down for a couple years because they put a he she
dude?
yeah
Lady.
a dude lady in there.
Fair.
Not a fan. Personal preference.
I mean, what I would do if I were you is I would look up a year in the 80s that has the same days of the year.
that's a really great idea.
That's what I would do.
And you know what else that probably includes?
bush, baby.
Bush, baby. Hey, actually, just because I know most of the listeners are women and they're probably not going to come into the shop, there is a Sports Illustrated swimsuit calendar hanging, and I'm going to go in and grab somebody's cut hair and start taping it above the bikini.
It's a big bush.
But yeah,
That is the most disgusting thing I've heard. Oh my god, this podcast has really gone down.
I can get different. I can get different hair textures for different months. A little
love it.
curly
I
here,
love it. I love
little
it.
straight there.
Make sure the fucking
Before you know it, you're
going to
be talking about gray hair.
I mean, you being the owner of the most gray hair here, you could tell us about it.
Well, you never know. Maybe
Hey, by the way,
maybe PR's.
does the carpet match the drapes?
No, it doesn't.
Wait. So you're all dark or you're all gray?
dark down below?
Or is it all gray? Is it white?
Can we have the producer?
We're getting fucking
kinda
yelled at
kill
to
this?
finish it up.
All right.
Okay,
Hey, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Send us your questions, comments, reviews. Send this shit out to your friends.
See you in the promised land, baby.